Greetings, greetings. This is Body-Culinary. Just stopping before. Just a quick greetings and an update on this hair. So, as we progress along this fine natural hair journey, today I have put in some pipe cleaner curls. So, my hair is extremely fine, and it's very lightweight because there's no products in it. It can even have a tendency to look kind of almost bleached in areas by the sun where it looks and appears kind of light. So just wanted to touch in on Sisterlocs as an approach for fine natural textured hair. Actually, one of my really good friends, one of my besties, almost 30 years ago, was doing Sisterlocs before they were super popular, and I had found out about them even years before she had started doing them at a holistic health center that I used to work at. So I remember seeing years and years ago the video with Dr. Joanne Cornwall promoting Sisterlocs, her and her sister and some members of her family. And so I really thought they were beautiful. They were just so tiny at that time. I didn't know anybody that did Sisterlocs. So years later, when my friend started doing Sisterlocs, I'll say, not just because she was my friend, she had some of the most beautiful Sisterlocs that I had ever seen. And what was really appealing about the hairstyle was the idea of no product. So many, almost 30 years ago, just the idea of not having to put products in my hair, it really caught my attention, because just the idea of like no grease in your scalp, no oil on your pillows, and just them being lightweight, that really appealed to me in terms of low maintenance, as well as when I saw the video initially of Sisterlocs. There were women that looked very professional, very corporate. And I also grew up in the age when they had this commercial. I think it was for Clairol. It was something around balancing and behaving hair, in terms of the shampoos and the conditioners and the colorings. The commercial way back in the day was balancing and behaving hair. So back in the day, when we were getting a press and a curl, and with all that heavy hair grease, we did not have balancing and behaving hair. Our hair is an afro, and it grows up and it's cotton. Cotton doesn't bounce and behave. So years later, when I finally saw her Sisterlocs, and now that I have semi-freeform locks, it occurs to me my hair is light and it bounces. Now, my hair, the curls do fall. They don't last very long. But just the idea of our hair being able to bounce and to have curls, and what I think is a double benefit is having this very unique texture, right? So instead of having a million fine strands when they bond together like locks, I really consider the afro a unique beauty mark or beauty feature. So to have light hair that with scalp does not feel weighed down by products, where I don't have to slick down my edges with products, for me, it's really a type of freedom. And I think the freedom and the confidence in your own skin adds to its attractiveness, right? Because I think it's really, well, I found it important in my journey to feel really attractive first to myself when I look in the mirror. When I first cut my hair, cut the perm out of my hair after high school, I never felt more beautiful, more attractive. So I would never, and I would never trade that for a million years. You could never pay me to go back to putting a process in my hair, because it's not me, and you have to keep fighting with it. You have to keep putting more and more chemicals. There's just a freedom that I've found in wearing my own natural hair. So with Sisterlocs, you can have curls, which, I like curls sometimes. I also like the option just to let the hair be straight and do what it does, because who wants to be rolling the hair up all the time? And again, this was done with light pipe cleaners. So I don't care for the idea of going outside in rollers, which is not something that I would ever do. And so to have pipe cleaners, some people like them, some people don't. But I can find a brown color that matches the color of my hair. My hair is a brown color. And yes, my locks are coming in flat. But I can just roll these in the style with the pipe cleaner as I bend them. It looks almost like Bantu knots. So I can wear that if I'm exercising, or I'm sweating and I'm moving around, and in the heat, and I have hair on my neck. And then when I let them out, I have curls. So lo and behold, I have bouncing hair. I don't know if I would say behaving, but it's light, bouncy curls. And it just, again, if I could have known about this, and I could have known about whole living foods, which is just natural food, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, and how sustainable it is. Well, children don't buy groceries, but I would have been wearing my hair like this from a little girl, right? And so now we know better. So we can present more options. There are more options. Oil, but I have to say my scalp feels really wonderful with absolutely nothing on it. I don't feel any kind of itching. I don't feel any dryness. Actually, I feel, and I've gotten used to a natural softness. Maybe there's one woman on YouTube that has mentioned this before. She has freeform, I guess freeform, or maybe kind of semi-freeform. They look like freeform, but she does pull them apart so they're not growing into one big bunga nati. She does pull them apart, but she recommends no oil at ever. So I'm going to experiment for myself. I've gone long periods with oil and then no oil. And I have to say, I think it's really something for us to get used to what we consider dry. If the hair is not stripped, it's dry, but only in the sense that it's not oily, right? And it's not wet. But there is a natural softness and there's a natural texture to this cottony hair. And so it's very freeing just to get comfortable with your own cotton, your own frizz, and what it feels like, because I have absolutely no conditioner and my hair feels soft. And I have to say it is due in large part to not using cheap shampoos on my hair will strip it. My hair strands are already very fine and delicate. They can break very, very easily. So to use really cheap shampoos, I could feel the difference and they look shiny, but my hair will get very, very brittle. So my hair is very, very sensitive. Doesn't like tugging, doesn't like pulling, doesn't like chemicals. I can't see myself even, when I go gray, I can't see myself putting dyes in it or anything now. There's so much, I see so many people where, the jury is in where their hair, and maybe some people's hair can take it, but my hair is very, very delicate. So I've seen so many people damage their hair by putting chemical dyes in it. And eventually, if you keep dyeing it, you see the texture of it changes. So if I've gone through so much just to accept my natural hair, I don't see myself putting any chemicals in it. I like to actually be chemical free because I feel like it's a freedom. So the whole approach of just the thought of Sisterlocs with no shampoo, not having to use shampoo in your hair and not having to use a bunch of products, to me, it's like being free from jail. It's like having a freedom and a relaxation that you don't have to do a whole lot to your hair to be beautiful, that it's inherent, right? You're already born with it. And I think that's really something for chocolate women to be able to relax and to sit into. It's a big part of our mental health. I would say is us being comfortable in the skin that we come to this planet with, this unique beauty stamp, this chocolate skin, and this hair that does what it wants to do. In terms of, I know my hair has its own colors. There's no dye in my hair. If anything, just being out in the sun colors it. And even as these curls sit here, it starts to drop. It just does its own thing. So it's really a freedom to me to be able to be free and allow my crown to do what it does. But I'm excited and very pleased that, all those years ago, I wanted bouncing and behaving hair, that I can have this light. And it's even, I would say, lighter because it doesn't have the product in it. So that's a nice benefit to having no product locks. I think a big part of it, some people have to go through all the experimentation. So I found not having heavy products in the hair and paying a little bit extra for a sulfate-free, paraben-free, like just a really good all-natural shampoo. It makes a difference. I felt like an immediate difference. I've gone long periods with taking herbs like nettles, rosemary, neem, different herbs and making teas and doing tea rinses. But being out in the garden, having tried oils before, periodically I will use shampoo in my hair. So using the shampoos that are not stripping, I can feel a tremendous difference between a $1, $2 Suave shampoo and the shampoo that comes out of the health food store. It smells better, and more importantly, I can feel the difference in terms of it not stripping on my hair. So my hair is nice. It's so light. It is so light. Again, as my hair is, the texture is so delicate. I know a concern for me would be because I'm enjoying just starting to see some length in my hair at 4 years, right? So as it gets longer, I don't want to experience a weight pulling on my hairline, which is already very delicate, which could potentially make my hair weak and make it break off, right? So again, I really like the minimalist approach with Sisterlocs. I know they have a starter kit with shampoo. It seems like it's mostly shampoo in it. Now, the thing that wouldn't be so ideal for me would be sitting inside of a salon chair. And I think this fan is going to make me sneeze. Excuse me. So I think the thing that would not appeal to me with Sisterlocs is feeling like I have to go into a salon and wait for hours. That has zero appeal to me. I think it's one of the biggest deterrents. If I could do my hair and then, and I'm not necessarily interested in starting over at this point. Whatever my hair can do naturally on its own, that works for me. Like just low maintenance. You know, I like grooming in terms of self-care, in terms of oiling my body with different coconut oils and shea butters. I'd rather spend a lot of time in terms of beautification with juicing and eating fresh, whole living foods. But when it comes to buying products and stuff like that and sitting for hours, I think that would make me stir crazy. I don't see me doing it. And then even, you know, as you have more women doing braid locks and micro locks and doing them on their own, I just don't see having the patience. Like even my hair, I didn't choose to have it locked, and initially it was locking as I was traveling without any access to any oil or my tangle teasers or my, you know, $30 combs. As my hair started to tangle, I would try to pick it out, you know, with a safety pin. And so it's too tedious. It's nerve wracking. I have so many other things to do with my time. It's just not for me. So I think if I could have, I would have started Sisterlocs. I see it's really as a nice benefit for women who have very fine hair. And the thing I think that Sisterlocs have in common with semi-freeform locks is that we can really capitalize on the natural fro and fluff and cotton that is a unique feature of this hair, of this afro textured hair. Cotton. We fight the cotton. We want to lay the cotton down. We want to slay the cotton. We want to slick the cotton. So I find it's less stress just to embrace the cotton that is coming out of our hair and growing up and out. So it just feels overall like a relief. Dry, but there's a difference between dry and stripped. And it's dry in terms of it not being wet or gooey or oily, but still like there's a natural softness to the hair. So Sisterlocs definitely appeal to me. Initially, when I would first people see their starter locks, I would see they were very, very tiny and they would be swollen at the bottom. Those are the first Sisterlocs I saw, again, almost 30 years ago. And actually, that was kind of a turnoff. I didn't really like that, to see them like really, really tiny. And then at the bottom, they seemed like they swelled out. So again, my friend's locks were the only locks I saw that was just coiffed and styled to perfection. I mean, we used to work for the airline. So her hair I had never seen such gorgeous, stunning hair. And just the fact that it was low maintenance had a lot of appeal. So now I feel like I have the best of both worlds because, again, my hair is very fine. And there's a huge difference. And I do love one of my, I would say, lock icons, if you will, would be Valerie June. So I like Valerie June, and I love the Sisterlocs, and I have fine hair that has its own color thing going on, its own texture, and it's not very dense. So where they were very, very thin, some of them are really, really tiny down at the bottom, they've combined and now they're growing in flat. So I feel like I'm getting the best of both worlds. So there's a tremendous difference between how they're coming in now, flat locks. But I find that this is actually complementary because, first of all, there's going to be an afro down at the bottom, the base of the root of the hair. And instead of it being cylindrical, where you have to palm roll the hair, it's growing wider and flat. And so many women with fine hair, we often choose styles that make our hair look more full. So the part, it's not really an actual part, so I don't have any parts in my hair, but the different sections of hair are going to be wider and flatter. So being it so puffy, it looks much more full. So I think that's a benefit to having these locks. Again, maybe this could be like mini Valerie June morphed with Sisterlocs. Now, am I going to just be seeing my whole scalp? Am I going to be seeing my whole scalp? Or you may worry that when it gets longer, if it's going to break off, if you have weak spots. So I do have some I guess I would say weaker spots. There's some that have broken off because I used to wear a tremendous amount of beads and things on my hair. So there's a big difference between this and what it's looking like, let's say, at the root, right? These that are growing in flat, right? Where they're two combined. I don't know that I would combine too many more because it's so fine, right? And there are times every now and then I would think about combining more around it, but I think it's a nice balance so that it looks full. So again, even as I'm sitting here, these curls are dropping, and this was just with no product at all. I do use cucumber and herb spritz. I did make a channel for that to share that with folks that have asked for it on this channel, which I think is a really lovely alternative, like a Mother Nature's distilled water. It's a nice alternative to rose water, right? So if we have this really unique beauty mark, I think it's only fitting. Look at these curls dropping. I think it's really again, goes in line with releasing all that anxiety around we have to do something, we have to buy more things. If we can be in control of the things that we use to beautify ourselves. So I'm always looking for what I can use for my own my little baby garden and my own food prep area, my own produce to put on my hair and my skin. So again, this is just pipe cleaner curls. They started out real tight, so they're falling. So again, for folks that every now and then want that have fine hair that want something that looks kind of full, I think this is a nice option. And so I can't see what it looks like from the back, but I'll show you what it looks like from the back. So again, if I was twisting, then you would just see my whole scalp. And it's not as dense here. But the nice thing is they're flat here. They'll grow wider and flat. And being that it's cottony, it will look fuller. So also I don't have to sleep on any uncomfortable rollers. I don't feel like I have to do a lot to myself. And when I put the pipe cleaners in, it looks really cute and I can wear that around as a style without having to worry about wearing rollers in my hair. So let me know what your thoughts are on, do you think you can combine semi-freeform locks with Sisterlocs, having fine hair? And also in terms of like, is it preferable for you to have styles that you can do on your own? Would you think that this is professional looking if you had to go out to an event? I am one sometimes to maybe put a little pin or something, right? Shout. Do give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you got some value. Share this with someone because we have lots of chocolate women that say that they hate their hair, the texture. And I have a texture. Many women say they don't like the color of their hair. They don't like the texture. It's too thin and that. And then we wind up picking at the hair until we almost pick it right off our heads and we tease it right off our heads. And we're putting ourselves in lots of pain with our delicate hairlines because we're trying to make the hair do something that it doesn't want to do. So it's like an epiphany at some point to just embrace your crown as it is coming out of your, and we have options, right? Because there is room for all of us. But it's wonderful to have the option of just sitting and knowing you can embrace your hair. So really shout out to all of those natural chocolate sisters with this fine afro textured hair. And especially those women that are fretting over them having fine hair or hair that doesn't do what everybody else's hair does. All right, folks. So I'll see you in the next video. Create a great rest of the day on purpose. And try those pipe cleaners. Don't sleep on them. All right.